still haunts me today. I used to rent a flat in Leeds, one of those tall Victorian terraces that had been hacked into student housing decades ago. From the outside it looked almost grand, tall windows, soot-stained brick, an iron railing out front. But inside it was the usual patchwork: paper-thin walls, carpets that smelled faintly of damp, and floorboards that shrieked if you so much as shifted your weight. It wasn't perfect, but it was cheap. And when you're a student, cheap is king. At first, it was just an old house. Drafty, yes. Moody plumbing, sure. But nothing I couldn't live with. Until winter set in. That's when I started waking up, always around 3 in the morning. I'd sit bolt upright, heart pounding, certain I'd heard something. It was always the same sound, the floorboards in the hallway, creaking. Now, in a house that old, creaks aren't unusual, but this wasn't the random groan of timber. This was rhythmic, steady, like footsteps, slow and deliberate, creeping closer. I asked my housemates, half expecting them to confess they were sneaking around, but they swore they were asleep. And every morning, without fail, the locks were bolted from the inside. No one had gone out. No one had come in. Weeks passed, and the pattern didn't break. I'd wake up at 3, hear the creak, then silence. Some nights it stopped halfway down the hall. Others, it came right up to my bedroom door. I started leaving the lamp on at night, but it didn't help. The light only made the shadows under the door sharper, and that's where I began to notice them. The shadows of feet. At first I thought my mind was playing tricks, but no, they were there, still, waiting. The weight of something pressed close to the other side of the door. I never opened it. One night, I decided to be brave, or stupid. I sat up in bed, covers pulled tight, and I waited. Sure enough, at 3 o'clock, the boards began to complain. Creak, pause, creak. Closer and closer until they stopped right outside. I fixed my eyes on the thin gap beneath the door, that faint strip of light where shadows betray what stands beyond. The feet were there, just as I'd seen before. 2 solid shapes, motionless. But then something happened that froze the blood in my veins. The shadows changed. Instead of walking away, they lowered. Slowly, deliberately, they dropped down until the dark shapes stretched flat against the floor. Whoever, or whatever, was outside my door wasn't standing anymore. It was lying there, listening. I didn't sleep that night. I don't think I even blinked. I just sat there, locked in a staring contest with the space under the door, waiting for the shadow to move again. Eventually, the first pale light of dawn crept in, and the hallway was empty. After that, I stopped pretending. I slept in the library some nights. I started carrying my keys everywhere, even inside the flat. And still, the footsteps came, sometimes faint, sometimes heavy, always around 3, always stopping at my door. When my lease finally ended, I almost didn't bother mentioning it to the landlord. But at the last minute, I did. Half a joke, half a confession. He didn't make a sound. He went pale. "Which room were you in?" he asked. When I told him, his face tightened. He explained that before the partitions, the whole house had been one unit. Back in the 1950s, a man who lived there had been found dead in the hallway, stretched out flat, face down, right outside what later became my bedroom door. They never figured out why he was lying there, or what he'd been doing in those final moments. I moved on. Different city, different life. But even now, years later, if I wake in the small hours, I hold my breath and listen. Because sometimes, in the silence, I swear I hear it again. The slow creak of footsteps, the pause outside the door, and then that dreadful shifting sound as something lowers itself to the floor.